on for number sense, we are going to try and trick you a little bit today. So I hope that you don't let me do that. So we are going to get started. But before we do, I want to remind you of our hand signals. When you think you have the answer, I should see a thumb up. If you aren't sure of the answer, but you think you have a really good strategy that you could use, you're going to put your thumb in the middle. And then for every strategy you can think of, you're going to hold a finger up. And then if someone says something that you agree with, or I say something you agree with, you can give us the agree. So let's get started. Okay, you're answering which one is less. Are you noticing what I notice? I'm noticing some similarities between these two. I'm also noticing some differences. Go ahead and pause for a second and see if you have a strategy that you could use to figure out which one is less. And then I want to see if you can write a comparative statement comparing these two. And once you finish, I want you to come back so we can figure out which one is less. Okay, now that you're back, so let's just look at this first set right here. So the first thing I see is that I have two flats. Well, each flat is worth 100. So if I have two of those, it means I have 200. I also see that I have 3 rods. Now, they're not next to each other, which would help me. A good way to do this would be to put my rods all together, maybe rewrite it. I have 3 rods, which means that's 30, because each rod is worth 10. So that's 30. And then I have 2, 4, 6, 7 units. So I have 237. Before I forget, I should probably write that down, because I know I'm fixing to have to count another number. So 237. I hope you got that number too. Let's look at this other one. Again, I see 2 flats, which means I'm still in 200s. But this time I only see 2 rods, which how much is that? What's the value of that? Yeah, it's 20. And then I see 6 units. So here I have 226. I hope you got that number too. So if I were to figure out which one is less, not only do I want to tell which one is less, I want to tell why, because that's what good mathematicians do. So let's see, 237 and 226. Well, 237 had an extra rod and an extra unit. Do you see that? This unit is extra, and so is this rod. So I had actually 11 more. So my comparative statement would be 237 is greater than 226, like that. But I can also write it the other way, because that's what good mathematicians do. 226 is less than 237. Great work today, mathematicians. Welcome back, mathematicians. Before we get started today, I want you to think back to what you guys have already learned this week with place value and what you've learned in the past. And as I read our I can statement today, I want you to think about, what do you know about the word compose and decompose and the phrase pictorial models? What does that mean to you? So today, I'm going to teach you how to do just this. I'm going to teach you how to compose, but we're going to really focus on decompose numbers up to 100,000 using a pictorial model today. So today we're going to work with this number, 1,538. Now I know that when I decompose that number into its expanded form, I have 1,000, I have 500, I have 30, and I have 8. And I also know that if I were to draw this out using a pictorial model, it would be a 1,000. Remember, we do our flat with the bracket to signal that it's going to be a cube. My 500, my 30, and my 8. Okay? So now I know that there are 10 ones in a rod. So I'm going to decompose this 10 right here, this little last one, by crossing it out, and I'm going to break it into units over here with the 8. So watch how I do this. I cross out that 10, I draw my arrow to break it into its 10 units. So now I can see that 1,538 can also be 1,500. My 500 is still there, but now look, how many 10s do I have? I only have 2, which means that's 20. But how many units do I have now? I have 8 and 10 more, which is 18. So I want to know, do you have another way to decompose 1,538 in a different way? If you want to pause the video and work that out, now would be a great time. Okay, mathematicians, so now it's your turn to decompose numbers in a different way. I'm going to give you a new number. Now, our number is 2,918. Well, again, our standard way of doing our expanded form is 2,000. The value of the 9 is 900. The value of the 1 is 10. And the value of that 8 is 8. So I would represent 2,918 in a pictorial model like this. My 2,000s, my 900s, my 10, and my 8. So now it's your turn to determine a different way to decompose the number 2,118 in a different way than I did. And when you finish, once you've thought about it, you're going to write it in your math journal. And then you're also going to use this sentence stem right here. And you're going to copy it in your journal. And it says, I know 2,918 is blank cubes. So for mine, it was 2 cubes. Blank flats, which mine was 9 flats. Blank rods, which was 1 rod, and 8 units was mine. But you're going to do it in a different way than I did. So you can pause the video, go off and work, and then come back. Great job, mathematicians. I am so impressed with your hard work and your ability to be super flexible with your numbers. So today and every day, as great mathematicians, we need to be aware that our numbers can be decomposed into lots of different ways. There is not just one way that we can decompose numbers. If you would like a bonus challenge problem, I'm going to give you one more number, and I want you to work on decomposing it in 2 different ways and using this same stem. Our number now is 3,708. That's your bonus. Mathematicians, we're so proud of you. You've done a great job. Keep thinking of numbers flexibly, and we'll see you next time. Okay, mathematicians, I have a new way to represent numbers for you in a different way than our base 10 pictorial models. And so you can do and use this same representation just like you would base 10, or you can use it to double check yourself. You'll also find these items in the digital manipulatives that you got to explore last week and are also on your choice board this week. So I'm going to look at the number 2,815. Now normally I would start drawing out my base 10 pictorial model, but I'm going to show you a different one today. These are called place value discs. And so what all they are little circles with a value in the middle. And so this is my thousands place, so I need 2 1,000s. So I have 1 1,000 and I have 2 1,000. Here is 100 and I need 8 of those. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, running off my page, 7, 8. It goes way down here. And then I have 110, and then I have 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is another way that you can represent by drawing a circle with a value in the middle. The most important thing is that we are able to see what is inside of each of the circles so that when we go to look at your work, we can see it. But this is another great tool when you are showing your work If you would like to use these in the digital manipulatives, or if you even want to make your own, that's something you can definitely do.